you can choose your own favorite expression in English language for what IMF or International Monetary Fund has done with its Global Economic Outlook report today. You can call it a commotion, a controversy. You want to use more flowery English, you can call it a kerfuffle. In the subcontinent, India will decline by 10+% this year, whereas Pakistan, IMF has not given a projection formally yet, but the general view coming out of the IMF is that Pakistan will be about even Stevens or maybe 0.5% growth, but will not suffer a major decline. That's also because Pakistan's economy of a certain type, and we'll talk about that. But it is Bangladesh. Bangladesh's economy will still grow by 4%, and at the end of this year, if IMF's projections are right, that's an important health warning. These projections don't always come out right, and frankly, it's for us Indians to prove them wrong. There isn't much time left in this financial year, but you can still try and prove them wrong. If those projections are right, by the end of this financial year, by the end of this year, Bangladesh's per capita income will be higher than India's. So, India's per capita income from about 2100 with a 10% fall will drop to $1877 in today's dollar terms, and Bangladesh's with their 4% rise will end up at $1888. Marginal difference, but Bangladesh, another nation in the subcontinent, a sizable nation, formerly a part of India, becoming richer than India on a per capita basis, is a very major development if it happens. Remember, these are projections. If that happens, then we Indians will be the fourth richest people in South Asia, in our subcontinent, which means we'll really be in the second half on the poverty curve. So, richest Sri Lanka, Maldives, Bangladesh, and then us. Now, you can say Sri Lanka, Maldives. Maldives is a tiny island country. Sri Lanka, okay, also an island country, not as tiny as Maldives, but still not big enough. But Bangladesh, now Bangladesh also is politically very weighty as an argument, as a point of argument, because for a long time, we Indians have psyched ourselves into believing that Bangladesh is a basket case, that Bangladesh produces nothing, its people are starving, they are desperate for jobs, they'll come and do anything for us, and that's the reason they are flooding India in their crores. And if we can shove Bangladeshis, only Muslims now with the CAA, not Hindus, if we can shove them back into Bangladesh, then we'll be fine, and Bangladesh will be denied this sort of illegitimate resource in terms of the Indian economy. Now, if Bangladesh becomes on a per capita basis richer than India, it is an eye-opener. It's also a very rude shock. Now, you may say, ठीक है, एक साल में होता है, next year will make up. And IMF again projects, if projections are right, that next day, the following year, India will grow at 8+%. Now, if India grows at 8+%, Bangladesh then might grow at about 5%. That is the projection. Then that year, India may recover its place above Bangladesh in per capita incomes by about $10, $10-20. It will lose by $10-20. It will recover by $10-20. But remember two things. One, that growth of 8% plus will be on a base which would have been lowered this year by 10+%. So that will be a Pyrrhic gain. Not very much. Second, this is not something that's happened just over a year. If you go 5 years ago, India's per capita income, that is your income and mine, as an average, if we averaged out all of India's GDP among all our citizens, it was 40% 40% higher than Bangladesh's. From that to now come below Bangladesh this year, you can imagine how hard we have worked for 5 years. It is not just coronavirus. In fact, if you look at the data, over the past 5 years, Bangladesh's economy has grown at 9.1% compounded, whereas India has grown, I'm sorry to say that, at 3.2% compounded. So, when a country is already not far from you on the economic growth ladder, and you build a gap of 6 percentage points over a 5-year period, you are looking downhill and you are rolling downhill quite fast, or you are falling back in the race. And then you have a year when you have a 10% plus growth decline or negative growth, and the same neighbor gets 4% of growth, then 10 plus 4 is 14. So you can see you are now losing this. You've actually run not one lap badly in this race, you've run 6 laps badly. And that is what you are paying for. Maulana Azad whispered to Jawaharlal Nehru when things were going very wrong in mid-50s in parliament, in a parliamentary debate, and that is something like, तू इधर उधर की ना बात कर, ये बता के काफिला क्यों लुटा, मुझे रहजनों से गिला नहीं, तेरी रहबरी का सवाल है. So translated in simple English, it means that don't talk about this and that, don't tell me ifs and buts, just tell me how did my caravan get looted. I have no regrets, I have no complaints with robbers because that's their job, they will do this. But I raise questions about your leadership. So these are questions that India needs to raise with its leadership, and the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, that 5 years India has had a compounded growth of 3.1%. What crime had India committed? What was such an important thing that India was distracted in, that India lost its growth momentum? Yeah, the demonetization and this, and then a whole bunch of things. India has gone back into protectionism. India has gone back into weaponizing the tax agencies. India has gone back into a trade aversion, foreign trade aversion. Remember, if Bangladesh is growing so fast, that's because Bangladesh today is an export powerhouse, which India no longer is. So Bangladesh's exports have boomed as India's exports have stalled and declined. So once again, questions have to be raised of India's leadership. I will not go into a lot of data because it further gets cluttered, but I will tell you a few things. One, our Minister of State for Home Affairs, G. Kishan Reddy, he made a statement on February 9 this year, where he said if Indian citizenship became available to all in the subcontinent, that was with reference to CAA, limiting it to non-Muslims in the subcontinent. He said if Indian citizenship is open to all, then half of Bangladesh will empty out and come into India. Now that spoke of an arrogance which is, one, not based in truth, and second, does India a great disservice. That apart, if you look at all our neighbors, the country with which we've had the best relations over the past 10-15 years and the most important strategic relations is Bangladesh. Because Bangladesh has not only been your friend in your tussle with Pakistan, they have given clear preference to India over Pakistan in everything, much to Pakistan's chagrin. They've also cooperated with India beautifully and marvelously on control of terrorism and cross-border insurgencies. They've handed over our top insurgents to us. Now, no other country in this neighborhood does anything like that. After that, because of our domestic politics and CAA, etc., we started this completely madcap campaign of maligning the Bangladeshis. It's as if Bangladesh was to India what Guatemala or Mexico or Haiti are to United States of America. Now, first of all, we are not United States of America. And second, Bangladesh is not to us what Guatemala, Haiti, Mexico, etc. are to United States of America. Bangladesh this year will go ahead, may go ahead of your per capita income. But besides that, look at everything else. And I comment to you an article by Swati Narayan, who's a scholar, and she points out that on all the major indices, Global Hunger Index, Gender Development Index, World Happiness Index, immunization, infant mortality, on everything, Bangladesh is ahead of India. It was behind only on two things. One, per capita incomes, which it looks like, if IMF is right, this year will change. And second, human development indicators. I think India is 134, Bangladesh is 136. There are 2 slots behind us, but there is a reason for that. The reason is, and it's a tough reason, in human development indicators, they also take per capita incomes into account. Now, because India's per capita income was substantially higher than Bangladesh's, that was tilting the balance and India was just 2 slots above Bangladesh. Now that that evens out, then that will go also. So you might actually have a situation where in the next Human Development Index, Bangladesh has beaten us. So what we need is a dose of humility. We have seen Bangladesh grow in every field, so much so that they also beat us. It's an aside. They also beat us in the Junior World Cup, Cricket World Cup. So Bangladesh is a rising power. First lesson, respect Bangladesh, respect all your neighbors. Second, acknowledge the fact that Bangladesh is leaving you behind and it's no fluke. And third, look within to see what is it that we have done wrong. We've made Bangladesh and Bangladeshi so central to our politics. Maybe we think that we are doing it until the West Bengal elections. But after West Bengal elections, there will be Assam elections. There will be an election in India anytime. So for all that, are you then giving up your only sizable friend in the neighborhood at a time when Xi Jinping is reaching out to Bangladesh desperately with a blank checkbook, with his checks signed, at a time when even the Americans, the Quad, are getting worried about Chinese influence in our neighborhood? Completely ruined our relationship with Bangladesh. I know repair work is going on right now. We have a new ambassador who is a very good ambassador. Vikram Doraiswamy is a very good ambassador. He's done the right thing. He has gone there by road. He went straight to Sheikh Mujibur Rahman's old home, which is a museum. So there is a repair work going on. But you cannot repair it if this remains the center point of your politics in West Bengal elections, which are now coming up. Again, somebody might say, oh, it's only per capita income. That is not really, and only 1 year. That is no indicator of anything. But please, 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 please be modest. Please be humble and let's be truthful. And the truth is this. I told you all the indices on which Bangladesh is ahead. I will count some more. Till 80s, we Indians lived the longest in this subcontinent. Now, a Bangladeshi lives about 4 years more than us. We are ahead of Pakistan if that's any satisfaction. We are now left to competing with Pakistan because Chinese left us behind a long time back. Sri Lanka left us behind. Maldives is ahead of us. Now Bangladesh is leaving us behind on every social indicator I told you. Besides per capita income and HDI, Bangladesh was ahead of us. And this year, if this projection is correct, even those two will be lost. India will then become the leader of the third world in the subcontinent. That is the cruel truth that we cannot deny. Now, before I let you go away, I know I'm turning the knife, but let me do it with facts. Look at some other indicators. Infant mortality. Infants dying at birth or living up to the age of 5 per 1,000 live birth. India is 41. Bangladesh is 31.7, ahead of you. Again, you want to feel happy. Pakistan is 53.86. If you want it to be a competition between you and Pakistan, that's fine. Then look at fertility rate. In 1960, this was a fertility rate between India and Pakistan. Then Pakistan was 1. Pakistan was 6.6, very high, which means an average woman produced 6.6 children in her reproductive life. Whereas India had 5.9, again nearly 6, so very high. Today, what is the situation? Today you have a situation where Pakistan has 3.48. It is still the top of the non-very happy pops in the subcontinent, and I say that with pun intended. India is number 2, 2.33. Where is Bangladesh? Bangladesh is 2.1. Bangladesh was 6.6. In fact, in 1960, both East and West Pakistan had the same fertility rate. So they have fixed it. So I'm sharing with you another article from my young colleagues Samyak Pandey and Srijan Shukla.